my name is Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Nicholas Montez. Welcome back to another YouTube channel for everybody. I'm so excited to have y'all back here together again. And in today's video, we're going to be reviewing the 6th and final episode of Hawkeye. This was an episode that I actually saw back when it first came out on 2:50 in the morning. So I kind of saw it early when it first came out, so I was kind of pumped about it. And so let's just get started talking about this big episode. But before we do, I want to talk about what are my thoughts going into this show before I ever watched all 6 episodes. And my thoughts going into this whole show was that I just didn't really think it was going to be interesting because it was about the boringest Avenger. But throughout the movies, he's had some interesting arcs. He's had a family. He's become the hero in the Avengers. Endgame was like the one that I felt like he had the most powerful journey. But it's like, I feel like ever since Endgame was like the one that, the film that kind of like set up his journey. And I loved how it kind of led into this show. Beyond that, it also just has some great relationships to Daredevil, introducing new characters, just doing and introducing new parts like Rogers the Musical, LARPing, just all these interesting things in the MCU that I was excited to see, and also having some cool action, though the action surprised me in this show. But with that said, let's get started talking about the big finale. Once again, I thought that this was a great final episode for an MCU Disney Plus series. Obviously, with WandaVision, it was good, but it wasn't my favorite episode. Falcon Winter Soldier was kind of disappointing because I wanted to see some characters and I wanted to see more of something. Loki didn't feel complete, even though we're getting a season 2. The What If finale was great, and this was just another finale that I would say is second best. Just because this episode is pretty much just action based. It's all about just doing action, and that's what this whole episode is all about. And all the action is pretty fantastic, from the stuff in the elevator, from the stuff that we get with the arrows. All the action is just absolutely shot level. Let's talk about the big thing, and that we finally got Kingpin coming back from the Daredevil show. Now, I haven't seen the Daredevil show. I know I was kind of freaking out. I kind of felt bad because I didn't cheer for when Charlie Cox as Daredevil, Matt Murdock appeared in Spider-Man No Way Home last week. But I knew that already, so I still had a fun time seeing him. But seeing Kingpin in this show, it shows you that he's an actual threat, and that no one can walk out on him. And I love that about his character in this episode. I also love the stuff that they did with Yelena and Clint, how he actually got to spend more time with Natasha, and it kind of created an emotional segment for those two characters. I also love the reveals of Eleanor like framing Jack, and working with Kingpin. There's some stuff I had some problems with that, but we'll get onto that when we get into the bad. And then of course it actually has this big reveal that Jack is a good guy, as he is the swordsman in the comics, and we actually get a nice little sweet moment with Clint and his family at the end, and we actually get Kate and Lucky going to the house, and we actually have the name for the dog, which is Lucky. And the big thing that they actually did for us is that they actually showed us the full-length version for Rogers the Musical from the Battle of New York, and I thought that was a great sequence, and I'm so glad they actually did that. And that's really everything I loved about this episode. Now let's just move on to the bad. And for the bad on this episode, I guess the only thing I can really say is that I kind of was expecting to see what was going to happen with Maya and Yelena's character. Because Yelena, after she finds out, Clint just says, "I'm sorry," and then she just walks off. And then the last thing we get to see of Maya is we get to see a little gunshot, but we don't know if she actually kills Kingpin or not. So, obviously we know she's getting her own series in the future, probably next year, I think. So I'm excited to see where her series is gonna lead. Maybe the opening scene of the first episode is gonna open with her to see what's happening with the gunshot scene. Maybe Kingpin doesn't die, because I looked on MCU fandom, it says that Kingpin's still alive. So yeah. And also the Eleanor stuff, I don't really understand, like, the whole character arc of that, like her framing Jack because her husband died and she became blindsided. Like, I never understood any of that. So that's really all the issues I had. But before I give my final score, be sure to comment down below. What were your thoughts on Hawkeye episode 6? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Or right in between? And just, did you guys see it? With that said, let's get all my scores. Alright, so that's it for my scores, but we're not done here yet. We have one more thing to do before we end this video, and that's to talk about some theories and other stuff that I have to talk about here. So obviously, I guess we could say that the theories for this show are very obvious. We don't really know where Hawkeye and Kate Bishop are going after this. We don't really know. We obviously know Maya is going in the Echo series. We just don't know where Yelena or Hawkeye or Kate are going. And that's a little bit concerning to me. I don't really know where they're going. I hope that Yelena goes in the Thunderbolt series, if that's gonna be made. But that's really all my theories I have. Now let's just review the show as a whole. And my thoughts on this series is that it's probably my favorite Disney Plus series. Because every episode that, like, when the first episode came out, I just instantly fell in love with it. And then the second episode I saw, it was great. And then the third episode was great. The fourth episode was great. Fifth episode was easily my least favorite. And then this episode easily is one of the best episodes. And it's like every episode, like, the story is great, the characters are great, and there's not really a bad thing. It's mostly just an enjoyable series, and it's like you want to see more of it. And granted, it does have that Falcon Winter Soldier problem, where because it only has 6 episodes, it can't really do the story that well. But I think this one does the best of that, where it actually does do the story well. Now, let's talk about my thoughts on Phase 4 as a whole right now. As of right now, I think Phase 4 is at its really great. Where almost every month, we're always getting something from the MCU that is great, that we at least like. And I've liked everything that the MCU has released this year. And granted, even the stuff at the bottom I still enjoyed, but I didn't love it. But there was some stuff I really enjoyed. So my thoughts on this, on Phase 4, is really good. Now let's talk about the next Disney Plus TV show. So now that Hawkeye is over and we finally got all 5 Disney Plus shows done, am I excited for Moon Knight? Of course I am. I'm of course excited to see Oscar Isaac in the MCU. I kind of wish Keanu Reeves played Moon Knight since he kind of fit the role. I forgot why though, but I don't know. I just felt like he could have played the role. I'm also really excited to see this Egyptian stuff, just like the action sequences. I'm excited to see Sharon Carter back. I'm excited to see where this story is going. So for me, I'm excited for Moon Knight, and I cannot wait to see where this story is going. So that's pretty much everything I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My Instagram is Marvel6, my TikTok is Wallenfan. If you guys don't understand those names, head to my about sections. You can follow me on all social medias. I'm also on Letterboxd. It's the same name as Instagram, my _6_, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.